What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick,
I'm Jeff Grindstoffer.
and welcome to episode number 31 of Vinyl Bang. Today is viewer's choice number 2.
31.
31 episodes, yeah. Yeah, we've come a long way. Today's episode is all the categories are selected by our good friend, Mr. James Watson of See You Next Tuesday. Thank you very much for these very intricate questions. Very intelligent questions. These are some good ones. These are some good topics, and I know Jeff hit me up and he's like, "Hold up on one of these," and I was like, "I know, dude, I know," but you have to pick just one, Jeff. These are good ones, and there was
a couple of them were tough.
Yeah,
one of them in particular was a tough one.
I know which one. I think when we get there, we'll talk about it. But he definitely threw a softball there, didn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, it almost feels like I should have cheated and picked something else because it's like I keep rehashing the same album. But
well, it's fun because when he sent me this list, I told him I thought what I thought you were going to pick, and I think I'm right. So, do you want to start this one? All right, we'll start this. Yeah, Jeff, you'll start this one off. The first category is favorite record store find.
Favorite record store find? Yeah, this one was pretty easy to come up with. It was like I've been wanting to showcase this for a little bit. This was actually from whenever you came to visit me, Nick, last November. Whenever you flew into St. Louis, whenever we went to see Metallica, the first weekend of November, we went to Planet Score Records. As soon as I got you off the plane, and one of the first albums that I picked up was a bootleg copy of Megadeth Countdown to Extinction.
That's right.
This is obviously a bootleg. I don't care. It sounds great. I am ecstatic to finally have a copy of Countdown to Extinction on vinyl. It sounds great. Like we spent one night the Saturday, because the Metallica shows were Friday and Sunday, but Saturday we sat around and listened to the new Suffocation and this Countdown to Extinction and a couple other ones. But I'm very impressed with how it sounds.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed with this bootleg quality.
I agree. I thought it sounded really good. I was like, wow, this is a bootleg. This is awesome.
Yeah. Standard pressings are hard to find, and whenever you do find them, they are expensive as fuck. So, yeah, this one I bought this for $32, $31.99, and I know better than to show shit on my camera because it doesn't show anything. But yeah, $32 plus tax, well worth it. Awesome record store find.
Fuck yeah! I was gonna say that. I was like, wasn't I there when you bought that? That ironically, we listened to that between the 2 days we saw Metallica. But
funny how that works.
That was a cool find. I couldn't believe that. I was like, yo, and you grabbed that pretty quickly. But that was a awesome album. I remember that coming out. I was in the 6th grade, and man, what an album! That was They were lining up with the Black Album and Nevermind at that point. So, but they I think they held their own. That was a pretty solid record, I thought.
Absolutely.
Probably the last solid Megadeth album.
I was gonna say, yeah, because Euthanasia was next.
Yep.
And it was like,
and then after that was oh man, Risk. I remember I was at Warped Tour and they were passing out demo tapes of that everywhere. That and the Brown album by Primus. But
now the Brown album, I would have snatched up. But Risk, like, dude, to this day, I've still never heard Risk.
I saw them at Ozfest '98 touring that album, but they played all the classics, obviously.
Yeah, I saw Ozfest that year too. Was that the year that Primus had Buckethead?
That was 99.
99.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome.
That was my introduction to Buckethead. Like, who the fuck is this guy with a KFC bucket on his head?
Yeah. That was great. All right. So my selection for this one, me and our good pal Blake Harrison, rest in peace, Blake. we were record store shopping in DC at a place that he chose, and I still like to go to this place if I can. It's called Joint Custody, and I always have a select album choice albums in my head that if I see this, I have to buy this. And man, I wasn't expecting to see this, but I rolled in there one day and Empire by Queensryche was in there. I paid like $40 for it. It's a great album. If you are unfamiliar with Queensryche, this probably isn't their best one. I think a lot of people like Operation Mindcrime, but this one's really cool. This one's got Jet City Woman and Silent Lucidity and the title track Empire. Tons of good songs on this album, but yeah, this was a red pressing, clear red pressing.
Oh yeah,
double LP, $40. Couldn't go wrong with that. Like I couldn't believe that I walked in there and saw this. Queensryche's one of those bands that when I was getting into metal, they were, I remember seeing their music videos on MTV and thinking they're very different from everybody else. So I kind of liked them. Didn't really follow up with them for many years. And then in I think the early 2000s, I was, when I'd be on message boards, people would talk about them. And I was like, yeah, I remember that band. Like I just, I don't want to say they slipped off my radar, but like I certainly went with like listen to other stuff throughout my childhood, or whatnot. But this is a cool album, a really cool band. I still have yet to see them. I think they're coming to town the weekend that I may be visiting you again. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're playing the casinos out in West Virginia, and as much as I'd love to go see them, I may have to miss it again. But really cool fucking band. If you've never listened to Queensryche, I recommend them. This is a cool album. This is probably their last best one, I think. I don't know. I know a lot of people like stuff afterwards, and they got a new singer now, and people tell me he sounds better than the original guy. So.
Mm-hmm. They're one of those bands I never got into. I mean, I always hear people talk about Operation Mindcrime, but like every time I ever think about Queensryche, it's always the video for Silent Lucidity, and it just I can't get past it. I never liked that song, and it never took off for me.
So Operation Mindcrime is like a prog metal album. So like I don't want to sit there and be like, think Tool or think, it's just different from everything that was happening in the 80s. A lot of it was either thrash metal or hair metal.
Sure.
And then there was Queensryche, and they were fucking awesome. They were a great fucking band. They really were. I'll send you some songs later to check out. I mean, Operation Mindcrime as a whole, it's a concept album, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how many albums I have, but every time I ever hear Queensryche come up, it's always, and 9 times out of 10, it's Operation Mindcrime. So
I just check out the song Eyes of a Stranger. That's a really cool one. Sweet Sister Mary. Moving on. This next category, this is a cool one. I like this.
Me too.
The trifecta, the CD, the vinyl, and the cassette tape of the same album.
As soon as I read this topic, I knew immediately what I was going to do. Immediately, just because of the way that this band approached releasing this album. In 2020, Fuck the Facts released Pline Nor Seer, and this is the second time I've mentioned this album on the show. The first one got a lot of attention from the band itself and from our good friend Topin. But shout out to Topin for sure, and shout out Fuck the Facts and Bill and Mel and
yeah. I don't know the new people, but I know Vil and I definitely know Mel.
Great people, great band. Awesome. The second time that I'm going to mention this band, because of the way that they released this album, should have gone through here and picked out which pressing was which. The first pressing on vinyl was a white pressing of 285, and the way that they did this is they have the album that you can stream on Spotify, the standard album. Every variant has a different bonus track. The vinyl has the bonus track Passage. And I will get to the other formats here in a second. But as far as the actual releases, the first pressing, as I said, was white, pressing a 285, and then the second pressing was a clear and black smoke, and there were 300 of these pressed. Not a whole lot of black smoke. I mean, there is some in there, but it's more of a clear record than a little bit, a hint of black smoke. But as I said, the vinyl has the bonus track Passage.
Mm-hmm.
And I will slip this to the side real quick. As far as the cassette for Plain Norseer, they did 100 of these. And the bonus track on this format is called Torment. So every variant gives you a different song that was never that like if you don't own the cassette, then you'll never hear Torment. And if you don't own the CD, which there was a pressing of 272 of these, and my CD is hopefully in the CD player because it's not in here. Hopefully it's oh, really did not plan for that. The bonus track on this is Invisible on the CD. So in order to hear the album in its entirety, and this is pretty good marketing from a DIY band, you have to own all three formats in order to hear all of the songs from the recording session.
Kudos to those guys and gal, because
Yes.
they do an absolute amazing job with their DIY packaging, and just that idea alone was pretty brilliant, actually.
Absolutely.
Just units, and yeah, what a cool band and what a cool idea. And I really hope we can get one or two of them on our show sometime.
Yeah, no pressure, Topin.
Or
Bill or whoever, you know.
For sure. Yeah. No, I love Fuck the Facts. I was just listening to Disgorge Mexico the other day. I was taking a little bit of a road trip. I put that album on, and then when I got home, because I have it in my car, when I got home, I played the record, and the record has that intro track Borders that I spoke about. Like it's not on the CD, it's not on the MP3. It's only on the vinyl.
Right.
I think I don't have the CD. Maybe if you, like I was saying, if you press pause and rewind it and listen to because it's just like an instrumental. But
right.
Anyways, yeah.
Great band, great album. Whenever this topic came up, it made me like listen to Plain Norseer again because it's just such a good album. And then once I finished that, I immediately went to Disgorge Mexico because
that's a fun record. I think it's
is.
a really. But I think one of them, maybe Topin is like a tech nerd, so he knows how to do those that stuff that Scott Hall does with like the hidden tracks before the album starts, on CD. Maybe. But if you own the vinyl, you'll get it full on.
Sure.
Okay, moving on here. My picks here are a band from New York City.
New York City.
Get a room. This is a band called Mother Brain, and the name of this album is called Straight to Business. These are cool people. There's only 3 of them: guitarist, drummer, and a singer. And the guitarist does the vocals too. But this is the cassette for Straight to Business. Unfortunately I don't have the cover for my CD, and it's like half of that and half of I can't remember what the name of this album was, but I lost the cover for it. But this is the the vinyl, the 7-inch. Let me see here. Oh yes, here we go. This is like the full-on artwork. I have a T-shirt of this somewhere too. Like, I fucking love this band. They're good people, good dudes. Dan, the guitarist, he's always been really cool to me with that.
Handsome Dan.
Straight to Business. That's a different Dan. That's Dan from Mother Brain. No, from Artificial Brain.
Artificial Brain. I'm sorry, I got my brains mixed up.
Yeah. The first time I saw Mother Brain, it was with Artificial Brain at the Auto Bar, and we we all took a photo with each other. I got a photo with everybody from Artificial Brain and Mother Brain out front, and I got some Cypress Hill hanging out of my mouth in that photo. Yeah, I'm trying to put this back, and I'm doing it on camera shamefully. Mother Brain, they're a grind band. They're a 3-piece. They're fucking awesome. If you've never heard of them, this is a fucking awesome EP introduction. Right Hand Man, Opoid, Down the Drain, Panel, Scumbag, Cut or Uncut, Old Man, and One Hit Gets Me Ripped, which I'm sure you can tell what that's about. But really cool fucking band. They played Maryland Death Fest twice, I believe, and I think the second time the guitarist told me that he was on acid. Man, they fucking rule. They are an awesome band. I think I have their full set on my YouTube somewhere. But yeah. Whoops, drop the cassette here. This is one of the few things that I have the trifecta of. I was scrambling there because I had to pull out my CDs and look for that. And that was unfortunate. I don't have the case. But,
yeah, I had thought about that whenever, the trifecta things. I'm like, I don't hear you talk about cassettes a lot.
I don't collect them. Every now and then people will give me cassettes, and every now and then I see something that I'm like, ooh, I need that because that's, I know that's rare, or they're not going to make those again. Like I'll show it off someday when I talk about Portal, but it's like a casket full of cassettes of like all the first couple Portal albums. And then I got some other, like all the rest of their stuff on cassette as well. Like I kind of go all out for Portal, but like I don't have everything. Like I don't have a lot of the OG stuff that's like really strictly in Australia and New Zealand. But moving on, next category. This is a great one. Again, kudos James Watson of See You Next Tuesday. He's got other bands. I can't remember them right now. I'm sorry, James. But he's an awesome vinyl collector and a good friend of the show. So, favorite gatefold.
Yeah, this one.
Meaning, I guess you're going to open it up and show off what's inside, maybe.
Show what makes it stand out. The thing, like, this one was hard. Like I actually stood in front of my records and like walked back and forth and started looking through shit, and I'm like, favorite gatefold? Like they're gatefolds. Like, what the fuck makes them? What would make it one favorite over the other one? And then I started thinking, I was like, oh yeah, some of them are really rare. Some of them are just have different cuts, or some of them are die cuts or whatever. And this is the album that I chose was Igor, Spirituality and Distortion. This album, this gatefold, is, I'm pretty sure I featured this before, and I got the whole Nessie thing screwed up where I couldn't remember where Nessie was based out of. But Spirituality and Distortion, whenever you pull these jackets out, it has a different front for the cover based on what side that you decide to put on the front of the cover. So you can either have the camel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and it's like even on the back, it's the same thing. The jacket on the back does the same thing. Like you could either have the track list on the back of the album whenever it goes in there correctly. It looks like it's actually supposed to be part of the artwork, or you could have the chicken. It's more of an aesthetic piece, but I mean it's like a choose your own display of how you want the gatefold to look, of how you want the artwork to look. So I was like, oh yeah, I want to feature Igor again. Like I love talking about Igor, especially this album in particular. I love this album. So, and this one, like the Nessie pressings are always like awesome pressings. So since I forgot to pull out the Megadeth, I'll go ahead and show what this one looks like.
Yeah.
It's like a neon green splatter.
Yeah.
Neon green streaks. But dude, the thing about Nessie pressings is, dude, they always sound incredible. I don't know what they do, what they do differently than any other place, but like I've got the pressings. I've got a couple pressings of Spirituality and Distortion that came from Season and Metal Blade. Sorry, Metal Blade Records. And this pressing sounds much better than the Metal Blade pressing. So this one gets a lot more attention than the other one. So, awesome album, awesome band, awesome gatefold.
Hell yeah. Igor.
With 3 R's.
There you go. Okay. Well,
all right. What you got?
You talked about something that you featured before. I'm going to talk about something that I've featured before, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about the insides of Beastie Boys' Ill Communication. We talked about this in the 1994 episode. The cool pictures of them all in the back there, in the studio working out. But the gatefold is what I like. Look at that artwork.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so sick.
I believe this is an Alex Gray. Let me see. Yeah, same person that does Tool.
Well, that's awesome. I never knew that.
Uh-huh. Beastie Boys had him before Tool did.
Oh wow. I've learned something today. I had no idea.
Yeah. It's cool shit.
Wow.
This is the 1994 OG clear green pressing. I think a DJ owned this album before me because there's like spots on here, like little Sharpie dots. So whoever had this before me had like little spots marked out. Maybe they scratched this album. I don't know. It sounds fine to me. It doesn't skip at all. But it's got some damage on it.
That's all right. Battle scars never hurt anybody.
Yeah, I thought so too. And you know, great album by the Beastie Boys. Most notable track on here for me is probably a song called "Do It." It's not one of their hit singles. It's got a Bismarcky in the beginning of it, but cool song. It's a little funky, I guess. But yeah, this is probably, I don't know. No, this probably wasn't their most popular one. I'm sure Hello Nasty sold more than this, but I remember this coming out and everybody buying Beastie Boys again. They love Sabotage and Sure Shot and Root Down and what else is on this album?
Get It Together.
Get It Together. Yeah. Heart Attack Man. Tough Guy. Sabrosa. They had some cool ones on here.
For sure. Great album.
Yeah. Much respect to the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, today was just to date the episode. I know it's not going to air for a few weeks, but today was the anniversary of Paul's Boutique. Is that right? 35 years?
35. Yeah.
Pretty cool milestone.
Yeah. It's getting old, like us.
Like you.
All right. This next one is This Just In, as in newest acquisition, I guess.
Newest acquisition, yeah. And this is something that we do anyway, or we try to do, like whenever Nick or I get new records at the end of episodes. We'll be like, "Oh, so did you get anything new, Jeff?" "No, Nick, did you get anything new?" "Yes, Jeff, I got new." But anyway, so for this one, I actually have 2 new albums this week. One I'm going to feature now, and the other one I'll do at the end of the episode. The one I'm going to feature is the newest album from Birdflesh. Faster Than a Priest Vomit. Okay, this is by far the fastest Birdflesh album. It's almost like an EP, dude. 13 tracks, 13 minutes. rips just beginning to end. It's like before you know it, the thing's over. It's so. Birdflesh is known for like there are a couple songs in here that have like sound samples of videos or of movies or whatever, but they still managed to get all 13 songs in 13 minutes. So it almost feels like an EP almost, but it's a full length album. And it is just the first time I listened to it, I bet I played it 3 or 4 times just because I was like, what happened? I'll do that again. It was just a ripper. So good. And the artwork is awesome. This is just a standard black pressing. They did a blood red pressing that I will acquire at some point, but in order to have the new Birdflesh album, like as soon as they went up for pre-order on, I believe it was Haunted Hotel Records is the U.S. distributor for Birdflesh material. As soon as it went up, immediately pre-ordered it, and awesome new addition to my Birdflesh collection. Love these guys.
Yeah, fun fucking band, hilarious fucking band. I used to have this T-shirt. It was the Metallica "Jump in the Fire" demon, but it was the bird. It said "Birdflesh, fight fire with firemen," and it had a bunch of like
firemen.
It had a bunch of firemen on ladders, like spraying like their fire hoses at the demon and shit. I was like, yo, this is the best shirt ever.
Yeah, they're funny. They're play on words, and like this one for example. I'll read some of the tracks. Death Trapped, Let's Go Grave, Toxic Mutilation, Till the Day I Die It. Instead of die, it's just die it.
No, I got you.
Funds Ahead, Last Blast, Too Sick to Suck, Crack My Finger, Finger My Crack. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
My crack.
They always have silly, they always have silly shit like that. Coffin.
Coffin fucker.
Yeah.
Victim of the cat.
Victim of the
meow,
cat.
meow, meow.
Awesome. All right.
What do you got?
What did I get? All right. This is something that I bought based off a recommendation off of a very recent guest that we had on the show, Mr. Justin Pearson. He talked about a movie that he's in that's called "Don't Fall in Love with Yourself," and he had mentioned that they put like a Kiss type pressing, a Kiss's double platinum, and so I bought that. I was like, you know what, man, I am going to support this dude, and I bought the one that he was hunting for, and it was the very last one that he found. It's called the Mucus strip. And,
nice.
Yeah, how about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very. This album, like he had said, it's got like a bunch of his bands on here. So stuff like the Locusts, Struggle, Swing Kids, Crimson Curse, Retox, and then there's like spoken word stuff from people in the movie. There's one with him and Gabe. But yeah, this is pretty cool shit. Actually, I like how they did this, and the layout was pretty neat, and he was a very, very cool guest, and I just was intrigued by this, and I was like, you know what, I'll buy this because I do enjoy the Locusts, and I've heard Retox before. They're not bad either. So yeah, kudos to Mr. Justin Pearson, awesome guest on our show. We'll hopefully people have watched that episode, but yeah, based on his recommendation, I went and bought his soundtrack to his movie.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's going to be one of my acquisitions in the future as well. Justin was such a great guest. Shout out to Justin Pearson again. Thank you, Justin, for being on our show. For taking the time to talk us through the history of 31G, and just very, very interesting session to sit down with him. So. Oh
man, yeah, the whole topic of just being able to do cool layouts and the ideas that they came up with in such in the 90s, especially, I was really intrigued with that part. That was that whole aspect of how he had to go through what he had to do by himself, the DIY part, man. That was I respect that a lot. That was really cool, really awesome stories he shared on our show.
Absolutely.
Okay. This next topic is called "Late to the Party," as in like you discovered this band kind of late.
Yeah, late to the party. This band that I'm going to talk about, I'm not 100% familiar with. Like I've heard some of their stuff. This album in particular, whenever I pre-ordered the vinyl, I believe it was during the pandemic. I listened to it on Bandcamp, and whenever I got it, I still haven't opened it, which sucks. I need to crack this open and throw it on the turntable. But I am referring to a band called Faxed Head. Faxed Head, the band members are, for the most part, a mystery. The band members listed on the back of the album are Fifth Head, La Brea Tar Pits Head, McPatrick Head, Neck Head, and Jigsaw Puzzle Head. Every member of this band is a different head of some sort. Now, two of the band members that are known to the public, that are common knowledge, is the vocalist is Neil Hamburger, who is a comedian. He's done whenever I saw Mr. Bungle in Los Angeles in 2020, right before the pandemic, Neil Hamburger had done a stand-up comedy set before the second night in Los Angeles. Neil has done a lot of stuff with different people over the years, but he's known mostly for his comedy albums. Greg Turkington is his actual name. And fun fact, he is Paul Rudd's boss in Ant-Man for the Baskin Robbins. That's Greg Turkington. So if you've ever seen Ant-Man, that's Greg Turkington, and you know who Neil Hamburger is. So now you know who the vocalist for Faxed Head is if you've ever seen Ant-Man. And the guitarist for Faxed Head is Trey Spruance of Mr. Bungle. As far as everybody else, all the other band members, I have no idea. I tried looking them up. I was just so infatuated with the mystery behind this band that I wanted to find out some of the band members. And unless I'm looking in the wrong spots or I'm not looking hard enough, it's not common knowledge who these band members are. So pretty cool project. It's very different. It's very noise oriented. A lot of distorted vocals. Very weird music, but what I've heard so far is definitely cool. It's just not for everybody. So if you're into obscure, not avant-garde music, but just different metal, these guys are worth checking out. Faxed Head, and the name of the album is Exhumed at Birth. Some of the song tracks on this are Gore and Guts, The Ancient Evil, Susurrus and Gloaming, Don't Turn Out Like Me, A Dream, Peregrinations from Beyond. Just weird stuff. Definitely worth checking out if you're a lot of this part of the reason why I really want to check out was because of Trey Spruance's involvement with the band, because I'm such a big fan of Mr. Bungle and the work that he's done with Secret Chiefs 3 and his contributions to Faith No More, King for a Day, Full for a Lifetime. Trey's a great guy. I know Trey. We've talked several times over the years. He's gotten to where he recognizes me now, which is awesome. Whenever I see Trey, he's like, "Hey, Jeff, how you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, pretty cool project. I'm actually, dude, I'd love to get Trey on the show. That would be a good idea. Why I'm saying it on camera, I don't know. But
text your boy.
I'll text him. I'll hit him up. I'll make some calls. Get Trey Spruance on the show. But yeah, that's my late to the party. And I'm still kind of late to the party because, like I said, I'm not real well versed in the band, but curiosity got me to purchase that album in particular, and it's all downhill from there.
Cool.
So,
alrighty. Well, I don't know how to segue into this one, so
no, I got nothing.
the band that I would say I am late to the party with is a band that in I want to say it was 2011, maybe 2012. They were announced that they were playing Maryland Death Fest. And I never heard of this band before, and then they canceled. And some band called Ghost took their place, and then became like the biggest band in the world. And then I want to say 2015, this band went and played Maryland Death Fest, and I finally got to see them. And I was like, "Oh wow, this is awesome!" And our buddy James Lenzig Jr. was it's like, how did he's a big fan of this. He said you should have known about this band. I am talking about Goat Snake. They are I don't know what you call doom metal stoner rock from everywhere. Mr. Greg Anderson on guitar. The singer, I think his name is Pete Shaw. I can't remember his last name. His name is Pete. He sang for that band Scream that Dave Grohl was in before he joined Nirvana. This album is called Flower of Disease. This is an amazing fucking record. I one time saw them at the Black Cat in Washington, D.C., and they were going to drop a particular song from their set, and our friend Miss Lindsay Turnbull yelled at them no. And the singer turned around and said, "Oh, I'll play it for the pretty lady." And then they went into this song that they were going to drop, and he like got down on one knee and he was like singing it in Lindsay's face, and it was awesome. I got a good picture of that for her. This is a clear red vinyl of Flower of Disease. This is a really cool album. This production on it sounds amazing. I also have another album by them. This one is called Trampled Under Hoof. This is really cool. I don't know how long this band has been around, but they're kind of bluesy, doomy, if that makes sense. This is a clear vinyl. This album has a Black Oak, Arkansas cover and a St. Vitus cover on it. 3 original songs, and then a song called Burial at Sea by St. Vitus, and Hot Rod by Black Oak, Arkansas, which has a really funny intro story before the song starts. I like this band a lot. They're heavy as shit, like really heavy doomy guitars, and the singer's got a really fucking awesome clean voice. If you've never listened to this band before, I strongly recommend Goat Snake, because I was definitely late to the party with them, and I think they are fucking amazing. They really are.
I've heard the name kicked around, but I've never been subjected to them. Never had anybody recommend them.
When we do our little road trip in a couple months, we'll listen to them.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm all about checking out new music.
Cool. All right, the next one. Oh, I love this one. Album that reminds you of a season.
Yeah, this was. There's a couple albums that are like seasonal for me, or like first day of winter. I like listening to Cephalic Carnage, Anomalies, winter or summer. Just random albums, whatever. But anyway, for this one, for this particular topic, I decided to go with Opeth, Blackwater Park, and The Season Is Fall. Love this album, and it has a very fall time feel to it. Very fall time vibe to me, especially. I have 2 different pressings that I'm going to feature. The first was released in 2001. This is the original OG press, Music for Nations press, prized possession in my catalog, in my collection. Love Blackwater Park. Such a good record from beginning to end. The second pressing I'm going to feature is the 20th anniversary. That was released in 2021. They did, I can't remember how many copies they did for this, but before they had actually released this, they were doing this promotional thing where they were asking fans to submit pictures from this time frame, from live pictures, tattoos, stickers, autographs, whatever. And if you did this, if you submitted a picture to the band to be featured in the 20th anniversary release of Blackwater Park, then they listed your name in a thank you thing. And I did that. I did just that. In 2001, I got to see Opeth on the Sounds of the Underground tour with Lamb of God, Guar, Clutch, Poison the Well.
That was 2005.
Was that 5?
Yeah.
When did I say them in 2001? I could have swore that was Sons of the Underground in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember. Anyway, I saw them somewhere in 2001, and I got an 8x8 sticker autographed by the band, and I decided, I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. I'll go ahead and send it over to them and see if they don't picture or feature it in the reissue vinyl of Blackwater Park. And I know you can't see it, but my name is right there. It is my J Christopher, amongst a list of thousands of other names of people that submitted pictures of different artifacts or different items throughout the years to be featured in the 20th anniversary copy of Blackwater Park. And it's pretty cool to, have my name in print in an Opeth album. Very minuscule, doesn't mean anything, but it's cool to me. That album means a lot to me. I love Opeth. I love the older stuff, the early stuff. And yeah, love Blackwater Park.
Earlier stuff's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I too had to go with the season of fall, autumn, as some people call it, as weirdos like to call it. This album, I mean, how could you not? And I think this is probably the third time I've talked about this on our show, but Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies. I mean, if there's ever a seasonal album, that's this one right here.
For sure.
This is a cool one. Rotten Apple, Nutshell, I Stay Away, No Excuses, Whale and Wasp, Don't Follow, Swing on This. Really cool acoustic EP by Alice in Chains, like a very seasonal album. Like I said, I think they're good at that. I remember Dirt for some reason always makes me think of the summer when I was in the summer of me going to the 7th grade. My sister had bought that CD and I would listen to it every morning before I went swimming at the pool. So that album makes me think of the summer. This one definitely makes me think of the fall. This is a very, very this album will grab onto your fucking heart and pull on it, man. This is an amazing record by a very, very, very cool band that they're still around. Actually, what am I saying? They're rest in peace, Lane Staley. But yeah, Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies. I have 2 pressings of this. I didn't want to rip the other one out, but yeah, this is like the 2024 repress.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that's the repress that you just got, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that band. The music video for I Stay Away is really cool. It's claymation.
That's claymation, yeah.
Puppets, and it's kind of like a Tool video, but not like it at all. Yeah, good seasonal album there.
Absolutely, great EP, great band.
Yep. All right, this next one, I feel like James threw Jeff over here a very curt softball, as I like to say, because I was like, oh come on, man, and even I was like, I think I only have 1 album by this guy, and I was like, no wait, I don't. I have more. Favorite Mike Patton record.
Favorite Mike Patton record. So many to choose from. There are so many albums with Mike Patton in this collection over here. From Faith No More to Bungle to Phantom Us, which is actually that album there. I know you can't see it because of the light, but it's the one that's on display because it's the first one that's going to get played whenever I get my turntable hooked back up after I get my vinyl bang work area put back together and get all my wires ran and get everything hooked back up. But of course, my favorite Mike Patton album, my favorite album ever, my favorite album of all time, Faith No More, Angel Dust. Love this album. Love it to pieces. I kiss it. Great album. Phenomenal vocalist, phenomenal band, greatest band in the world, greatest album ever written. And this one includes the bonus track Easy. Like the one that I've had on display for episodes like 24 through 28 was the original master recording pressing that I have that was on display for weeks and weeks and weeks because I worked so much and I just didn't listen to records, and that was the last one I had on the turntable. This one gets a little bit of attention, not as much as the original master recordings, just because the vinyl sounds incredible on that one, but I don't like to wear that one out. So this one gets some time on the turntable, and yeah, great album. Favorite Mike Patton album. Favorite album of all time. Got it tattooed on me on my left calf. Yeah. Love it.
I told James when he sent me this list, I'm pretty sure he's going to choose Angel Dust, but who knows? Maybe he'll surprise me.
No, that's. I mean, if we're being honest, it's favorite album, so it's one I had to go with. And I got the original master. Like I've got. That's another one I could have done the trifecta for. I've got 15 different copies on CD and 3 different copies on cassette, and only 2 vinyl. But we all have our faults, Nick. But I almost showcase the CD and cassette as well. But I'm like, you know what? No. We'll just do the vinyl and call it good. So.
Wow. This one was going to be a tough one for me because I was like, I think I only have Dead Cross, but then I was like, no, wait. I have Irony is a Dead Scene. And I featured this on the first episode, and you were like, oh, I'm so envious of that. And then you're like, wait a minute, I do have that. Because Jeff is a forgetful guy over there. But yes, I love this album. This is a really cool, I didn't know Mike Patton could do weird shit like this. I only heard like a couple Faith No More albums when I was a kid, and then I didn't listen to anything he did for many years. And then one day after Dimitri had left Dillinger Escape Plan, and people were telling me this guy from Baltimore is their new vocalist. But before they did anything with him, they put out the CP with Mike Patton. And this is an OG pressing on Buddy Head Records, a clear orange vinyl. As you can see there, I don't want to take this out, but
limited to 100.
Limited to 100, yeah. Got the cool etchings on both sides. Straight to eBay for hockey stick, and Tom wanted these to be pink. Yeah, Mike Patton on vocals and sampler and percussion. Cool record. It's only an EP, but it's one hell of a fucking EP, and it's only 3 original songs and then a Apex Twins cover, "Come to Daddy." I like the song Pig Latin. It's a fucking awesome one. I don't think I've ever seen them do that live. They always usually do When Good Dogs Do Bad Things in Hollywood Squares for many years.
Yeah.
And then they had more shit to play. But this was a cool EP with Mike Patton, something that he did that, wasn't Faith No More or Mr.bungle or Fantomas. So.
Yeah, as usual, that was my introduction to Dillinger Escape Plan, just because of Patton's involvement, and that's actually that skateboard right there that's hanging up on the wall behind me is the Irony is a Dead Scene skateboard. My new decoration in the work area now, and also the tattoo. Love Irony is a Dead Scene. Great EP.
Very good EP. Yes.
Good pick for a favorite Mike Patton thing. Good job, Nick. Do the thing. I'm patting you on the back.
That's a fucking good. I know. I picked well.
Boy.
All right. Next topic, and this was a very sore one for Jeff because he almost asked me to do a full episode on this topic, and I was like, we could, but I don't know how many albums I have from this decade. This is favorite '90s record.
Dude, yeah. You talk about a tough decision. Like, favorite album from the 90s? I mean, come on. Oh, my God, you're wrecking my balls here. Killing me. Favorite album from the 1990s is like virtually, it's almost impossible for me to pick a favorite album from my childhood or my teenage years or, whatever from the 90s. 90s were such a great decade for music. But then I took it upon myself, I'm like, maybe now I'll get a chance to talk about Pork Soda. So let's do that. Let's talk about Primus. Pork Soda, which came out in 1990 something. 1993. With the assist. Alley-oop. Yes, 1993. This is an OG press that was bought while Nick and I were in Philadelphia. We went to Sit and Spin Records.
Shout out Sit and Spin.
Sit and Spin for sure. We went there for the Decibel Fest where Picture Story played Prowler in the Yard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that where we were in Philly?
That's correct.
Yeah. So we went to Sit and Spin because we had the day to hang out, and I'd heard a lot about this place. I bought a couple of test presses from them online a year or two previous to this. I said, dude, we're in Philadelphia. I really want to go check out this Sit and Spin record store. And so went in there, and for an undisclosed price that I will not say out loud because my wife is listening in the other room, I own a OG press of Pork Soda. But yeah, what an album, dude. I mean, it's Primus. I mean, come on, right? Come on. My name is Mud. Welcome to this world, Bob. Bob, dude. DMV, the old Dimebag Surgeon, Wounded Knee, Pork Soda, Mr. Crinkle, which, okay, I'll contribute this. Most people don't know this. Mr. Crinkle is about Mike Borden, the drummer for Faith No More. Most people don't know that song was written to Mike Borden, the drummer for Faith No More. He's Les is, conversing to, I guess, Mike Borden. So if you didn't know that, there's your lesson for the day. You learned, Nate, because I think you learned something today. Huh? No need to thank me with the fan mail and everything. But yeah, Pork Soda, so good. I'm gonna go see these guys in St. Louis next week. I'm supposed to see them in Wisconsin, but I had some family stuff come up and I had to cancel that trip. So I get to see them in St. Louis, which is good enough. It'll be my 23rd time seeing Primus throughout the years. Pretty damn excited to see Primus again. Always a pleasure to see that live. Excuse me.
Cool. Yeah. Pork Soda, what a cool record. I remember stealing that from my sister.
Oh, yeah?
I had that for many years. Yeah, like you said, this was a tough one because I almost went with Tool's Undertow because that was a cool record, but then I thought long and hard about it, and I was like, when I think about albums from the 90s, either I think about Alice in Chains' Dirt, or I think about Canderia's Process of Self-Development. This is a fucking amazing record. This, for a long time, this is only available on CD, and I used to punish these dudes whenever I see them live. I'm like, put this on vinyl, and they knew I think they just had to find like a good recording of it because I don't think they had the master tracks. But man, this album, I got this in the mail a couple months ago. I pre-ordered both pressings of it. I think this is the Purple Smoke one. I love how the center label. It's not. It's you see how it's like just
an octagon.
Yeah, octagon. Let's see here. 3 Times Again. 148 Pull, Method of Expression, Temple of Sickness, Mathematics, Work in Progress. That song features Jamie Josta. Matter, Antimatter, Cleansing, Elevate and Madness, Down to the Last Element, The Process of Self-Development, and Leaving the Atmosphere. This album is fucking a trip from start to finish. It's hardcore, it's metal, it's jazz, it's hip-hop. Everything is on this fucking record. This band is one of the most underrated fucking bands in the world. I love this album so much. For many years when I was working this pizza delivery job, I used to listen to this album every Friday, and it would just put me in a great fucking mood. No other album grooves like this album. Like, I think other than the band Meshuggah, nobody fucking grooves as well as this band. They had a very, very powerful drummer by the name of Ken Shock. If you're not familiar with this guy, look him up. He is fucking amazing. cannot say enough good things about this band or this particular album. Candiria Process of Self-Development. Look it up. If there is an album of the 90s, it is this album right here.
Yeah, you've talked about them several times.
Yeah, I've got.
And I remember whenever that pre-order went up, you were stoked.
Yeah, they just recently started like pressing their albums on vinyl, and it's just, yeah, I had to get my hands on that one. That is a great fucking record to me. I love it from start to finish. It's such a fun album.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right
on. Okay. We're getting to the nitty gritty here, bud. This next one I liked because I instantly knew what I was going to pick. But best overall production.
Overall production. Yeah, this was, I don't know. Production for me is hit and miss. I mean, I know that, certain albums sound better than the other ones, but I'm not a real big like audiophile. Like everything, everything has to sound a certain way or whatever. But I can definitely appreciate a good produced album whenever I hear one. And the last few Cattle Decapitation records produced by Dave Otero have been stellar. So let's go ahead and talk about Terrasite, because I think this is one of the only Cattle Decapitation albums that I have yet to discuss on this show. So I figure this would be a good way to check this off of the old bingo card and go ahead and get the entire Cattle Decapitation album collection featured on Vinyl Bang. Terrasite, the latest release from the band, from Cattle Decapitation, phenomenal record. Absolutely phenomenal record. For the longest time, I couldn't pick a favorite song from this, and it is A Photic Doom, without a doubt. It's just beginning to end, such a great track, heavy. It just, man, what a great album. Solastalgia, We Eat Our Young, The Insignificance, Scourge of the Offspring, Just Another Body, which is a tribute to Gabe Serbian, a heartfelt tribute to Gabe Serbian. Shout out to Cattle Decapitation. Shout out to Travis Ryan, good friend of the show, good friend of Nick and I. And Travis is probably a reason why some of you at home are watching us right now, because of the episode that Travis did with us a few episodes back. So we're thankful for him for getting new traffic coming to the show, coming to to our little podcast here and all that. But yeah, such a great record. Terrasite, great production. And this one, like, since I'm not doing a whole lot of cressing, this one isn't even opened. Never mind. This one was in the sleeve. I figured it was open. I'm not opening it. I'm not going through all that. You can imagine what Terrasite would look like if you owned it. If you don't own it, go buy it and then open your own copy and listen to it, because it's a good album.
Sound advice from Jeff Grindstopper, folks.
And then tell us on Vinyl Bang about how great it sounds, and say thank you, Jeff, for telling us how great it sounded.
You just made us lose like 20 guests.
Oh, come on, dude! I do great impressions.
Moving on. This one, I mean, come on. When you think about good production, like, how can you not think about Nevermind? I mean, this. I know this is a poppy album. This album gets a lot of hate from metalheads or whatever. Fuck you. This album sounds fucking incredible. Like, one of my favorite features on this album is Dave Grohl's drums. I mean, like, they sound insane on this, especially in Bloom. His little fills in the beginning of that song. I love listening to that shit. This is only a single LP, so I know, Jeff, you got a couple of the double LPs versions of this, so I'm sure it sounds like 20 times better than the one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in a store one day, I saw this, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. I'm like, why not? It's a, I don't know what it says 1991, but I'm sure this is not made in 1991.
No.
But Yeah, Nirvana, Nevermind. Like, come on. If you've ever listened to this album, you'll know this is a great produced album. Great, the production on it is just over the top. Little known fact, a little unknown fact from a lot of people. Territorial Pissings, the intro of that. So in Sound City, where they recorded this album, they've got like an intercom system that goes all around into every room. And Chris Novoselic got on it and did that. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, and then it went through the entire studio. While like I think Tom Petty and Stevie Nicks may have been in there recording, so they recorded that over the speakers, and then that was the intro track for Territorial Pissings. And I think we also mentioned on the show a few times, but there's a secret track on here, not on the vinyl, on the CD version only, called "Endless Nameless," which is a pretty cool like noise track, I guess, by Nirvana. Not noise, but it's not really like a well written song or anything.
Yeah, not really an incoherent song, but I mean it's just angry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never mind.
Awesome. But see, like that album in particular was one of the hundreds that ran through my head with favorite album from the 90s. I mean, fucking never mind, dude. Like, even In Utero, I'm fucking almost so many albums from the 90s, but that was one that I really would have gone with, for favorite album from the 90s, because that's one of my favorite albums of all time. But
yeah,
here we are. I'm glad that you featured it, that it was on the show, that we got to talk about it at least.
Surprised you didn't feature Weezer's Blue album for best production. That's a really good produced album.
You're a good produced album.
You have to tell me twice. All right, last topic. This is a cool one because I have a lot of these, and I think we almost did an episode of this about this. But sick B or D side etching.
Yeah. This was pretty well a no brainer. I think you and I discussed this beforehand, but I'm gonna do 3 different pressings, just real quick, rapid fire through these. I'm going to feature a local band from St. Louis, Missouri, good friends of mine, Fister, the Infernal Paramount. I know this is probably the worst copy to start off with because you can't really see it, but it is a purple pressing, limited to 100. Let's see if we can't get the light to cooperate here to show.
Okay. Yeah.
The etching, but like this design is on the cover of the album itself. The audio is on side A, and the etching is on side B. I forget what the pressing information on this one was, or which, like if this was the first, second, or third pressing. This one they did a pressing of 100. The Holy Mountain Music, the artwork by a local artist, Kobe Ellison. Black pressing, again the same design, and the last pressing I'm going to feature was limited to 300, and this one is also another standard black pressing, but it's the same artwork. I've always loved this etching. I've always loved how intricate it is, how detailed it is, and plus I love talking about Fister on the show. They're a phenomenal band, great guys, deserve all the attention they can get. So yeah, Fister, the Infernal Paramount, and I know that so hard to feature artwork with the light from the monitor, but yeah,
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Fister from Missouri. All right. All right. So I featured my selection for this is it's the band Sleep, and I can't remember what year they released the Clarity, but I have several pressings of this. This one's the clear pressing. So some of them come with this like basic cover right here, and it's your basic brown sleeve. Oh, here it is. Comes out this way. It's just a clear one, but you can see it on this side. Yeah, no, it's this side.
Yeah.
It's got an astronaut on there. It says sleep. Here's the fucking opening. Right here. Oh.
Dude, now that I think about it, I just found whenever Melanie and I were going through and cleaning up the house and organizing everything and sorting through everything, I found a tote bag with that exact same design on it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. A green tote bag with that exact same design on the etching.
And then, in there I have tucked in there, I have a ticket to when I saw them Sunday, June 26th in 2016 at the 930 Club in Washington, D.C.
Nice.
And a set list.
And the set list, nice.
Yeah. Hold on. Nicely put all this shit back. Boom. That's the clear vinyl. This one is the clear green.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. The little dragger knot or whatever they call them. Holy crap. These things are so hard to open and put back away. Let's see here. This one would be the standard black.
Oh, that's very nice.
See that a little better. A little astronaut on the out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it looks great.
And then after, I think, man, who put this out? Southern Lord. It said, oh yeah, I should share that on the vinyl in the corner there. Praise Iomi. They would always sneak little stuff like that in there. And then they started releasing it like this, and these like sleeves. This is sleep the clarity. It's kind of like etched in there, and yeah. This is like a yellow one, and then this one's pretty cool. This I think glows in the dark, but I haven't checked it.
Oh, you do have several copies of that.
I have a lot. I think I sold a few a couple of years ago because I was just like, I have too much of this taking up space on my shelf. I like sleep a lot, but I don't need all these copies because the fuck. I held on to a couple of them that look cool, but they've since then re-released that several times, and I think it's on the Sciences. I could be wrong.
But, that sounds right. I think Clarity. Yeah, I think it's on Sciences.
Yeah, but yeah. Thank you, James Watson, for picking such awesome topics this week. This was a fun one. I love doing stuff like this. It's like the Discogs game episode where we kind of had to go through each other's Discogs and pick. It's just I like doing it that way. That this one was a fun one for sure. We did one with Alex Shaw a couple weeks ago, and I like James. James got a good mind, and he knows how to pick some cool topics. He definitely did so on the episode that he appeared on with us. So
for sure.
Cheers to James Watson. Thank you, brother. This was a fun one for sure between me and Jeff, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun. I like talking about different topics and changing things up. And
sometimes it's a little tricky because we can't just do a full. People didn't care about our full 1994 episode, but
yeah.
But before we end this one, Jeff, did you get anything new in the mail recently?
I did. I got a new thing in the mail. I have not had a chance to break open yet, and I am excited to get this broke open because there are 2 unreleased tracks on this box set that I am beside myself eager to listen to, but I have to get my turntable, like I said earlier, I have to get my turntable hooked back up and get all my speakers and everything ran back through the room again. But I got my first pressing of the Mr. Bungle box set, quote unquote, which features the first 3 albums, the self-titled Disco Volante and California. Disco Volante has a previously unreleased track called Mind Emissions, and California has a previously unreleased track called Nosterces, Gnosterces. And I have not heard either one of these yet. I don't know if they're online. I don't know if anybody's ripped them and put them on YouTube or whatever. I don't care. I don't want to hear them on vinyl. The box set itself, they did 2 different pressings. This is the first issued standard black pressing. They have also done a, I believe it's piss yellow colored that sold out in about 20 minutes, and a copy is on its way. It'll be here Tuesday. So yeah, I am excited to have both of these copies on vinyl. This one will be the one that gets broke open and played on the turntable, and the other one will just be for bragging, street cred, to say that I have the one that sold out in 20 minutes. Super excited for a Mr. Bungle box set, though.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Glad you finally got that. That came quick, didn't it?
It came quick, and whenever I ordered it, I didn't get an email for the order. I didn't get an email for whenever it was shipped. I didn't get an email saying, "Hey Jeff, thanks for your money. We got your money." Nothing. And then it just showed up one day. I'm like, "Oh shit! I didn't get ripped off. That's awesome. Cool."
That's the way to do it. Make them sweat.
Make me sweat. Make me fucking freak out. But it is what it is, and it's in my collection now. So all's well that ends well.
All right. So this week I got a couple new things. I want to start off with this classic that I featured on our hip hop episode. I saw recently that it was being pressed on colored vinyl, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll buy another copy of Master P's Ghetto G. Man, this album fucking rules. I think I mentioned, yes, I did mention this in the hip hop episode. This was, unlike the last one, this is pressed on orange vinyl. The other one I have is just standard black, but yeah, I love this album. I used to, I'll shout out my old neighborhood pals, Maki and Chris and Andrew and Lee. We used to drive around listening to Cypress Hill while listening to this album. This was a cool one. This was like 1997 wrapped in a box, man, or 98. This came out, I think. But this is a cool fucking record. I love this a lot. The first track, he literally gives you instructions on how to make crack. It's ridiculous.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, it's a good song too. But there's a lot of tracks on here. Damn, I'm not gonna read them all off. This is a cool album though. Master P was fucking amazing. I was a big fan of him and the No Limit Soldiers in the '90s. The other thing I got when we did our death metal episode, I had mentioned that I mentioned the band Wormed and that they were putting out a new album. That day that we recorded that episode, pre-orders for their new album Omegon came out. This is a first pressing on blue, white, and black marbled vinyl, limited to 200 copies worldwide. This came out on Seasons of Mist. Shout out to Seasons of Mist. They put out so much good stuff. Boom, look at that. Most Wormed records kind of like that. It's like that darky purple gloomy shit, but I don't know. This band is insanely good. If you've never heard of them, they're like Technical Death from Spain. They got a new drummer, I guess, since the last one. I know the drummer passed away, but yeah, cool fucking band. If you've never checked this band out, check them out. This is their new album, Omegon. Yeah, look at that shit, man. That artwork's wild.
For sure.
Oh yeah, it is a gatefold. It's like you're going into some portal. I don't know, but This band's incredible. I remember back in like 2012, I think, me and some friends went and saw Between the Buried and Me at Baltimore Soundstage, and I knew that that same night Worm was playing the Sidebar, which is like a few blocks away. So when the BT Bam show ended, I told my friends, I was like, "Look, let's just go over there. The worst that's going to happen is they're not going to let us in." And we just walked right in the door. Nobody asked us for money or anything. And right as we walked in, Worm was getting started, and watched them play. And the guy who was TMing them was throwing a fit, and they threw him out of the bar. But yeah, Wormed, great fucking band. Vocalist has some fucking crucial low gutturals. I know I featured them on the death metal episode. I have some low. I have like a number 2 out of 75 of their first album on vinyl. So cool band. Happy to have that one in my collection. And yeah, there it is. Vinyl Bang episode number 31.
31 in the books. Real quick, since we brought up several different mind-altering substances on this episode, where we talked about Cypress Hill and acid and making crack, we do not condone the use of drugs. We don't condone the use of drugs here on Vinyl Bang. We say up with hope, down with dope.
All right, I'm gonna turn
I
this
really
down.
should say that without laughing.
All right, Mr. Mackey.
Drugs are bad.
Thank you again to everybody for still listening at this point.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this week. Jeff, thank you again for donating your time to this show. This has been a fun one, 31 episodes. Can't wait to see what we do next.
I can't wait to get a goddamn paycheck for this is what I want. I want some money.
Hey, if we get 50 subscribers on Twitch, we got to do that contest with that poster. We should talk about it. I have an autographed Goat Whore poster. We'll figure out a contest to do. But if we can get 50 people to subscribe to or follow us on Twitch, then we'll pick somebody at random and mail that poster out to them free of charge. We'll show that maybe. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you, Jeff. And we will see you all next week.
Yep. Thanks. All right. See you guys.